I want to tell you something nobody in the tech space is going to say to you. Your skills are not the problem. Yes, you heard me right. The coding, the design, the marketing, the building, whatever tech skills you have, that is not what is holding you back. I know that because few years ago I was sitting exactly where you might be sitting right now. I could build things that people could not imagine. I could build websites. I have clients. I had the skills. I had a laptop. I had a plan. I had strategies, and I was barely making enough to cover my bills. And I remember thinking, what is actually going on here? Because I'm doing everything I was told to do. I'm doing everything I learned from YouTube. I'm learning. I'm improving. I'm showing up, but the money was not moving. It took me a long time, longer than I'm even comfortable of admitting right here on this video, to understand what was really happening. And when I finally got it, I want you to understand something. Things did not slowly get better, things shifted really fast. So stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to break down could be the most important thing you watch this year if you are serious about building real income with your tech skills. Let me start with what people are going to say your problem is. They are going to say something like you need more skill, you need to learn one more skill, buy one more course, you need to upskill, you need to get more certification. Those are very good advice, but they are dangerously incomplete. Because here is what I've noticed after working with people in tech across multiple countries. The most skilled person in the room is almost never the highest paid person in the room. I'm a living witness. Now, let us sit for a second. I've seen developers who could run circles around me technically. They were earning a fraction of what less experienced persons, people who they were doing better than were charging. And for a long time, I couldn't understand until I realized that there was a gap that was not technical at all. Now, the gap was how they saw themselves in relation to money. Now, most people in tech, especially those of us who came up grinding and self-taught, we're trained to see our skills as the product. You get a good thing, you sell the thing, someone pays you for the thing, right? But that model has a ceiling, it has a limit, and that limit is really low. Because when you sell a skill, you are in the market with thousands of other people that are selling the same skill. And in that market, the only lever you have is price. The only way you can come out of that market getting something out of it is reducing your price, which means you always be one cheaper competitor away from losing the client. And that's not business. That is going to be very dangerous for your growth. Let me paint you a picture, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself while I do this. You picked up a skill, you got genuinely good at it, really good at it. Now, people around you started noticing that yes, this guy is doing great. Maybe you landed a job, maybe you got a few clients, and then something strange happened. Now, at a point, instead of raising your prices, you started doubting yourself. Now, instead of putting yourself out there more, you signed up for another course. Now, instead of saying, I'm ready, let me just get started, let me start charging properly, you started saying, I'm almost ready. You keep saying, I'm almost ready. You put yourself in the learning process. You put yourself in tutorial help, which you must have heard before. Now, here is the really sneaky part. It felt responsible, right? It felt like you were being diligent, you were learning more, it felt like you were doing the right thing, isn't it? But this was what was actually happening. You were using learning as a hiding place. Now, I call this the broke tech loop. Now, it goes like this. You learn, you undercharge because you do not feel ready, right? Then you also feel like a fraud even though you are delivering real results. You go, you learn more, you undercharge again. You tell yourself you're almost there now, and then you learn more and you still undercharge again, round and round for months. Sometimes it takes a long year before you realize, and nobody calls it out, because the people selling you the next course, the people selling you the next bootcamp, the people selling you the next certification, all they think about is for you to believe that your knowledge level is your problem, right? Because the moment you realize the problem is not your knowledge, you stop giving them your money. I was in that loop for a very long time. I was learning and learning, and I felt I wasn't good. I had to stop taking in jobs to learn more skills. I stopped taking in jobs to learn more skills, and it never stopped. I'm telling you that because I know someone watching this right now is probably in his year 2 or year 3 of the same loop right now, wondering what is wrong with me, right? Brother, I need to tell you, nothing is wrong with you. You just have not been shown the way out. So here is what actually changes things. 3 lessons, all right? These are not theories. Now, lesson number 1, stop selling your skill and start selling the outcome. Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, I need someone who knows React. They wake up thinking my website is losing me customers and I need that fixed. They also think like my computer is growing and I am not. Now that's what they are buying. The relief, they are buying the results, they are buying the transformation. Stop selling your skills. Stop showing that yes, I am 5 years in React, I'm 20 years, I know how to do React, I know how to do JavaScript. No one cares about that these days. All right. So when you talk about what you do, stop leading with the tool and start leading with the transformation. Not I build websites, but I build websites that turn visitors into paying clients. Not I do social media, but I help businesses stop being invisible online. You're not selling a service this time around, you want to start selling a better situation. And better situations command better prices. Trust me. Second, get comfortable talking about money. This one is real for us in Africa, Nigerians particularly. You know, as an African person, you're working for an international organizations. You are, trained to be humble. We're raised to be humble, to not seem greedy, to wait to be offered what we actually deserve, which works in some areas of life, but it is going to destroy you in business. You have to be able to say your number and say it out loud without apologizing for it. The third one is build in public. Now, this one actually changed everything for me. When you share what you're working on or what you're learning or what is not working, you become a real person. And the real person build real businesses. Real persons get referrals. Real persons get real jobs. All right. So if you're not showing your face, then it is going to be difficult for people to know you. I mean, this is 2026. You need to take this particular side, this third point, very seriously. Now, I want to be real with you for a second. I'm not sitting here as someone who has completely figured everything out. I'm someone who is actually in the middle of building. I run a web business called Texture. I have worked across different countries and I've earned in USD from Nigeria. All right. And some months are great, while some months teach me something. But the version of me that was broke in tech was the guy that was waiting. Someone who was waiting to be ready enough, someone who was waiting for the right opportunity. I was waiting for someone to see how talented I was, but nobody came. So I stopped waiting. And if you're watching this and I think somewhere in you, you already know this is the time for you to stop waiting too. This is the time for you to take action. This is the time for you to follow the 3 steps that I've already mentioned. If this hits different for you, please drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know where you are right now. Have you broken out of the loop? Are you still in the loop? Because this channel that I've created will be one of the most honest places on the internet about what building in tech actually looks like. Subscribe if you want to come along for the journey, and I will see you in the next one.